You can't change if you don't know what's holding you back.
First, let's look at the true nature of our mind. 1. Our mind is inherently pure, free from any afflictions. 2. It is naturally liberated, endowed with all kinds of wisdom and virtues. This is the wisdom aspect. 3. It is inherently equal, without any opposition to other beings, as it is naturally full of compassion. Thus, our original nature is pure, liberated, and equal. This is the first realization. Next, why have we ended up like this, constantly plagued by afflictions, creating karmic misdeeds, and drifting through the cycle of birth and death? The key lies here. It is through delusion that afflictions arise, through delusion that karma is created, and through delusion that the cycle of birth and death continues. This is the root of our current problem. The Surangama Sutra emphasizes this idea. Before practicing, which is akin to treating an illness, we must understand where our issues lie before taking medicine. Why do some people practice Buddhism for years without achieving a deep transformation in their lives? It's because they never know what's truly wrong with them. Without knowing where the root issue lies, you won't be able to change, as you don't know where to flip the switch.
Delusion is the key to our lost true nature and source of suffering.
We are innately pure, free, and equal. But why then do we now find ourselves troubled, bound, and divided? The root of this issue lies in our delusions. Let's unpack what this means. Delusions arise from our perceptions and reactions. When our clear mind encounters external objects, it first experiences a sensation. For someone with substantial past good karma, life brings more pleasurable experiences and fewer painful ones. Conversely, someone with less merit encounters more suffering than happiness. However, the sensation itself is not the real problem, as it has no inherent form. The real issue comes in the next instant. Imagination takes hold and starts creating elaborate images around the sensation. Take the example of drinking coffee. The actual experience of tasting the coffee happens in the very first moment your tongue encounters it. If you enjoy the taste, you feel happiness. But then, what happens? Your mind starts talking to itself, creating narratives. This coffee is delicious. Where was it sourced from? After that first moment, you are no longer truly experiencing the coffee. Instead, you're living in the stories your mind constructs. Most of us spend 80 to 90% of our lives in these mental constructs rather than engaging with reality. This delusion begins to solidify as attachment, causing us to live more in our own ideas than in direct experience. As Yogacara philosophy describes, our experience manifests from our mind and is anchored in our consciousness. The challenge is that we live in these mental constructs, our blind spots, and get misled by them. This is how we create unnecessary complexity in our lives. In truth, karma is responsible for only a small part of our problems. The Buddha described this as the first arrow, meaning that only a small portion of our suffering comes directly from karma. The vast majority is self-created through the second, third, fourth, and so on. Arrows we inflict on ourselves by expanding and inflating our suffering with delusions. Many think their heavy karma is solely to blame, but in reality, our mental disposition plays a significant role. Most modern problems are psychological, driven by delusion. Consider this story of a mother and daughter. One day the daughter, pleased with her month's work, bought herself a hat she adored. She came home eager to show her mother, but her mother was busy cooking and didn't notice. The daughter tried to get her mother's attention by moving around the kitchen, but when she still didn't notice, she left the hat on the refrigerator. Even when her mother opened the fridge, she didn't see it. Finally, during dinner, the daughter stopped talking. Noticing, her mother asked, "Are you all right?" The daughter replied, "I bought a new hat, but you didn't notice it when I showed it to you." The mother, feeling even more hurt, said, "Speaking of noticing, did you even realize I got a new hairstyle today?" Both were so absorbed in their own mental stories that they missed each other's intentions completely. We each live in our own worlds of delusion, and it's this delusion that complicates life. If life were merely about karmic repayment, things would be simple. However, karma and delusion have become entwined. Karma may provide the initial stimulus, but it's our delusions that take over and continue the story. To be trapped in delusion is to make life unsolvable, even at the end of life, making it impossible for even the Buddha Amitabha to help. The sutras clearly state, all karmic obstructions arise from delusion. In this sense, someone who is burdened by heavy karma is truly someone who is caught up in endless delusions. Ultimately, life's joy or sorrow is not directly tied to karma, but rather to our mindset. Some people are optimistic and direct their thoughts positively, constructing a favorable outlook, a good trait. Others, however, dwell in negativity and self-made suffering, attaching harmful labels to their experiences. The true practitioner, however, rises above this completely, not labeling anything, and leaving all things unmarked by delusion. Thank you for joining me on this journey into Buddhist wisdom. I hope this video brought some insight and reflection to your path. If it resonated with you, please consider subscribing, liking, or leaving a comment to share your thoughts. Stay tuned for our next exploration together as we dive deeper into these teachings. Until then, may you find peace, clarity, and compassion in every step. See you soon.